What's going on, NRW? It is us again. We are back, and you know what we're doing? We're giving you some more of that Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're going to go all over it, go all through it, and bring you up to date on episode 3, which is called The Power Broker. I am joined with my boy Kuya P. What's happening, Kuya?
I'm good, man. Good to see y'all, man. Been a crazy week, but I'm ready to chill with my boys, man. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. And we're also joined with OG Moose in the building.
What's happening? Let's get this shit.
Yes, you can tell they're excited. I'm excited, man, because we are on episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've been really, really happy of what's been going down so far with the whole season. They were really going for it. Last week they showed us some things. They touched on some issues, and this week we jump back into it. We're into the storyline, and we are in search of the Power Broker. So where we left off last episode was Sam and Bucky figured they had to go talk to Zemo. We got a little flash of Zemo, but we didn't see what Zemo's going to be like. We met him in Civil War, but now we're getting to see him up close and personal, and getting our take on what Zemo is for this season.
Get a little backstory on
exactly
Rich Zemo.
Yeah, Rich Baron. Hey, call me by my right name, Baron. Okay, yeah. He made that clear. But that's where we start off this episode. We're going to walk you guys through it, and we're going to give you some thoughts and interjections as we go. So where we start off is Bucky and Sam, or actually where we actually start off is they have the commercial for the GRC, which is the global reconnection council or something like that, reestablishment, something or other. It's a big organization doing what big organizations do, helping some people out and leaving some people by the wayside. But it's really interesting to see that commercial because it kind of tells you a lot of what you need to know what happened post-blip. There's a big council that's set up and they're helping people get reestablished. But in the meantime, they're hurting some people who were already here. And that's where Carly Morgenthau, that's where her character is like, yo, they're displacing us. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting on rations, not giving it to us, and we're not seeing it. I mean, I thought that this was a great opening scene because we get to see more of like kind of why the Flag Smashers are doing what the Flag Smashers do. What y'all think of that opening, how we just started out with that commercial? What were y'all thoughts? Kuya P, what's happening?
I thought it was interesting and cool that we finally got it. Was kind of like they're like what they were doing with WandaVision with those little trailer intermissions. So it was kind of interesting that was there because it wasn't a normal thing that they do. But I'm happy that they did that to kind of just do a little bit of contrast because it went right from there to that scene with John Walker and everything. But I'm not going to spoil your breakdown. So, but yeah, I thought it was good. It was just to give you a little bit more insight that this and help you inhabit this world that we're in and that these characters are living in.
Yeah, what about you, OG? What was your thoughts on kind of like the opening? Like we didn't even jump in with Sam and Bucky or anything like that. We just kind of jumped into like the world that we're living in.
Yeah, the commercial is like a good way of showing the context of this company, right? So like you said, it's like we find out later in the episode that they had been holding on to months and months of like supplies. And like you get to see that, oh yeah, these motherfuckers was on some slick shit the whole time already.
Right.
And we're just gonna see the reason why the Flag Smashers, give them context to their storyline. But yeah, what was the scene right after that? Was it the
I think the scene after that was Sam and Bucky were talking about how they got to go see Zemo for real, and then he was just kind of recounting.
No. It was after the commercial. It was
John Walker.
Exactly.
It was Carly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the whole because like I feel like the commercial and like the scene with Carly kind of like were one. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like you see the commercial and then it bleeds into like Carl. So it's like all this happiness about people being reestablished and reconnected. And then you see what Carly Morgenthau and like the Flag Smashers are going through, right? That's what they like cut to her and like them talking, right?
Right.
It was after that. Though.
So
yeah.
I was grouping it all together. Again, I'm probably being like the GRC right now. I'm just glossing over their pain. You know what I'm saying? Like I just jumped to the next part and didn't even fully go into it. But yeah, man, she's talking with her homie. She's like, yo, like, we got to do this. You know what I'm saying? We got to get these supplies or whatever to the people. Or actually, I'm sorry. No, wait. Sorry. Pause. She was talking with her grandmother or whatever. Or was that later in the episode?
No, she was playing soccer outside, and then they cut to the scene.
Yeah. Okay. So
they cut to the scene of that her grandma passed away, or this teacher. I think her name was Danya, I believe.
Danya.
Like, Lord, y'all got me mad confused. Is what now with my scenes? I could have swore it opened with the GRC commercial, right?
Right.
It did.
Then we go to that with John Walker and Battlestar. Looking,
that's the scene. That's the next scene after
that's the next scene after the commercial.
Yeah,
but a key part of that scene is they're trying to talk to these people. Where's old girl? And dude spits in my man's face, and I was like, bro, you get slapped for that shit.
You know what?
You feel me?
You're right.
That's important.
You're right.
Because the van opens and it was a GRC van. Anyway, moving forward.
Look, I got it all mixed up. I apologize. I'm leading y'all down the path.
It's all good, bro. You're really good at it, and I'm gonna let you do it. But yeah, it's the commercial, then the scene with them getting spit on, and he has Battlestar decode the French that he was talking, because John Walker don't understand the language, so he has my man come in. Dude gets spit in the face, and they're like, "Yo, we gotta find chick or whatever." Then
and John Walker is getting shitted on multiple times now. You know, it's like he's you can start to see that he is a controversial character. I thought he was gonna be widely accepted. I thought that they were gonna try to convince. I mean, they are trying to convince the world that he's the chosen one, but the majority of people don't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's good to see that. It's good to see that he's getting disrespected. He got spit on, and it's like that's one of the most disrespectful things to do to another human being.
Exactly. So, that's why I wanted to highlight.
Do you know who I am?
Exactly.
And we don't care.
Like a straight buster. Like he was privileged. That's straight privilege right there. His privilege ass was showing.
Someone says, "Do you know who I am?" It's like,
exactly. He's like, and then
we don't care.
What I love about that scene too was he's dude's talking to shit to Cap and John Walker, because to me you know what, I'm not gonna ever call that bitch Cap, because he ain't fucking Cap. He's John Walker, because he ain't our Cap, bruh. He's not our Cap. We're fucking Steve Rogers. So he talking shit to John Walker. So he calls Battlestar over. Battlestar talks to him, and he's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And then what I loved the beyond just the spit, when John Walker was talking his shit, he then decided to speak in English, because the motherfucker could speak in English the whole time. And so he said it so he could clearly make it known to John that he a bitch ass motherfucker.
You don't rock with them.
You know what I'm saying? So that was just a beautiful writing right there. Because, as we as, you're an honorary Filipino today, Glenn, but as Filipinos, OG, how we do when we can speak a language. We'll talk the shit without you really knowing, and then when we want you to know that we've been hearing, because you may think we don't know the shit, and then we'll be like, yeah, kind of like what they do in Warrior. You ever see Warrior, Glenn?
I haven't watched it yet. No, I gotta
Glenn, you need to watch Warrior, because they really show language really well in how how like people that can speak another language will be talking shit to you at the same time, and then we also hide it that we don't know, so that way you can think we don't know, and it just that beautifulness when you can speak a different language and kind of talk to somebody, really, when you don't really, they don't know that you shit talking. You feel me, OG?
Yes, sir. Oh, what was the next scene after this?
That was the scene there with old girl that I know y'all crushing on.
Yeah, so there was that. I thought I got it all mixed up. I'm gonna get us back on track. But the next scene was where Bucky and Sam, they're arguing over what they should do about Zemo, and then Bucky's like, "Yo, we gotta get him out of here." And then it's funny because he starts walking through like the actual breakout where where he's like, "Yo, we could start a fight," and then that fight leads to confusion, and he starts breaking it down. And then when he finishes breaking it down, Zemo walks to this door, and Sam's like, "What?" It's like, "Yo, I thought we was just talking about this. I didn't know you had actually done it." And then basically Zemo's there, and he's just like, "Yo, what's popping?" You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm out.
And we're getting introduced to Zemo's past life, where he apparently has a car collection. He is a baron, and he has a mask similar to the comic book Zemo, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting introduced to that, his family history of him. I thought he was just like a soldier. I thought that was his whole storyline from Civil War, but apparently my man is a rich,
He's like
wealthy,
a prince. He's like a Prince Harry soldier
with a crazy car collection. He had a gold gun. He has a mask similar, like Marvel did a great job that the mask looks exactly like or similar to the comic book. Was he like had like a purple type of colorway? Yeah,
with the stripes coming down it. Yep. Yeah, man, he's like, I don't know. Marvel does a great job at costume design and also like kind of getting the look of the person that they cast. It looks very similar to a lot of the people in the comics. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't look exactly like them, the feel of that character matches like the characteristics of the person that they cast. I think they do a great job of that. But it's cool because the other thing, you know, here is we get to see Zemo's personality. The only thing we've seen of him so far has been from Civil War, where he was just kind of cold and
vengeful.
Meticulous and calculated.
Yeah, and we only got to see his actions post his family's death during the Ultron battle, but now you're seeing how he like this actual human being, and even though he is a super villain, they're introducing us to him as like here's this. He's funny. He was. I mean, not to move too forward, but he was turning up at the club. Like we didn't. Right. I didn't know that the guy who killed King T'Chaka was out here turned up at the club too.
But again, it's that thing that Marvel does. It's where they kind of humanize all the characters as to not have it like some campy kind of one-sided, you know, he's only got one track mind. It's like, nah, man, I used to have fun. I used to do things and I could turn up even though we're on a mission. It kind of fills the character in. You get like a little different feel for him. It feels very much to me like a comic book because, you know, you always have like the characters and their plot doing, and then you'll have like one pane where the person's doing like something and you're like, oh, that's kind of funny. And it kind of endears you to the character. So it's kind of cool. We get introduced to Zemo, you know, introduced to like his wealth and what's going on. And we're flying around trying to figure out where our next move is. And the next move is Madripoor, which is a big thing in the comic books. And he's like, yo, we gotta go out there to go meet with this person. So things start moving pretty quickly and we get all of our characters straight over to Madripoor. But right before we get there, we get that scene with Carly Morgenthau where she's chilling with her Donya Madani. Which is again, it's filling in a little bit of those characteristics of our villains.
Yeah. Back to the Madripoor scene during the introduction, you guys noticed the Filipino song that they ended up using. The artist's name was Shani Dope. Shani Dope, if I'm pronouncing it right. I looked at the end credits, and he had during the scene, it was like this scene where they were introducing the city, and like the beat was had a very Asian type Oriental beat. And then a Tagalog rapper comes on, basically.
Oh, word.
And Shiny Dope is the artist's name. Shout out to him. Getting a Marvel fucking placement. That's wild.
That's dope.
So, you know, yeah. But anyway, that was a cool little...
You got me Googling now, bro. Like, I missed that. Yeah. I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, man. He was rapping in Tagalog, you know what I mean? And that was tight. But anyway, now we get introduced to Madripoor, which is in the comic books, it's like a haven for criminals, right? It's like based in the Indonesian area, Indonesia part of the world, and like there's a lot of crime lords there, a lot of people that apparently sharing Carter. Well, not to move too forward. Like what happened when they get to Madripoor?
Right. So, but also on the way to Madripoor, we forget there's that Baron Zemo. He's talking, and I thought it was. Yeah, on his private jet. I thought it was super dope because it shows that, you know, Baron Zemo is a little bit woke. You know what I'm saying? Like they start talking and he draws like a line from what happened with Hitler to Red Skull and how that led to Captain America. And, you know, as good as you think it may be, it's like kind of from the same lineage. You know what I'm saying? So he draws that line. But the other thing that was cool in that scene is where they start talking about the list. And that list plays a part because it brings up Trouble Man, which is about the Black American experience or whatever and how it encapsulates it. And then Baron Zemo's like, yeah, that joint's a masterpiece. You sleeping on it. And then Bucky's like, I like my 1940s joint. And then Sam's like, what? How can you sleep? Like, I just thought it's great how they put these little things in there that like really kind of speak to like the politics and like how things have changed. And it's like, you know, that old school American thing that has been brought over from, the times of like Hitler, the Red Skull, to Captain America, and how it's like slightly doesn't understand the Black American experience. I think that's dope how they put that in there. I'm like, man, they're kind of going for it right now.
Yeah, it was a good reference to was it Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier, when Sam recommended the album by Marvin Gaye, one of his classic albums, to
Trouble
Steve
Man.
Rogers. Yeah, Trouble Man in his, and you forget that these guys are from from a different era, you know what I mean? And we're frozen in time, and now there was like at least 60, 70 years of pop culture that they missed, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the legend Marvin Gaye. And now you get introduced to that this wealthy guy, what's his name, Zemo, basically has an entire other life that we didn't know about. So that was a good scene in there. And then they land in Madripoor.
Right, and then they land in Madripoor. I mean, it's kind of cool because you get to see, like, even with all his wealth, he was still like stricken by grief, and like it didn't matter. You know what I mean? He still wanted to do something with that. But now we're in Madripoor, and I think it's really cool. They always do a great job of getting people into some of these costumes that, that you might have seen in like the comics, or getting them into character from the comic books without being corny. And one of the characters that they get into this is the Smiling Tiger. They put Sam in the Smiling Tiger. The get up, it's like a pimp suit. He's like, "Why I gotta dress like a pimp?" He's like, "Yo, that's how the Smiling Tiger does it." And then he also tells Bucky, he's like, "Yo, you got to be the Winter Soldier." So you know what I'm saying? You know what that means? That means if I say get him, you got him. You know what I mean? So they do that, and then they drive off to the bar where they're gonna do some deals. They're looking for Shelby, and they go finding Shelby. They go ask for names, man. I think it's dope how they get there, and then we get that quintessential bar scene where it's like, kind of fish out of water, like, pretend to be who you are or whatever. It's easier for Bucky than it is for Sam, because Bucky just gotta get him. How'd y'all think about the bar scene?
Going so fast. We didn't even talk though about the breakout, man. The breakout of Baron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was a diabolical breakout that that Bucky set up.
Yeah, I mean that was like because Bucky broke it down. You know what I'm saying? Like as he's breaking it down, as he's explaining it to Sam, and then as he explains it to Sam, Baron walks through the door.
Very Ant-Man-esque, kind of like with my man, my Latino brother that people always be talking. I should do shit.
Michael Pena.
Yeah, Michael Pena. It was very Michael Pena-esque, but Winter Soldier. I thought it was kind of cool, because it was very similar to that. But I just wanted to throw shine because I don't think we talked on that.
No, we did. Cool. I mentioned it just a second ago. I was like, I brushed through it. I was talking about how Bucky was explaining it, and then Zemo walked through the door. Because that was in the first, that was in the early scene. That was in the first joint. But yeah, so now where we're at is we're in the bar looking for Selby, and Sam's got to play the Smiling Tiger. He's got to be the dude. He's got to be the guy. So he walks in there, and first thing that happens is the bartender tests. He's like, "Oh, you want your usual?" Which I thought, if the bartender knows Sam, he's probably going to. If he knows the Smiling Tiger, he's supposed to know what he looks like. But apparently he didn't. He's like, "Yo, you want your usual?" And he's like, "Yeah, give me the usual." And he pulls out a snake, yo. And then he cuts out, like, I don't know, like the gallbladder, the liver, or something from the snake, man. Like, what? Like, would y'all have drank that?
Nah, bro, I can't fuck with snakes. Fuck snakes all day, every day.
For the fuck snakes for sure. But in the meat, like Sam is a professional assassin soldier. He's on mission. He's on mission, so he's gonna have to do it. Yo, that was wild. I love. It was a funny scene of him like hesitating to take it. There was a point where there was a hooded person at the bar, and I didn't notice it, but I watched it the second time right now, and I noticed that there was a person at the bar with a hood who, like, they showed that person moving out, and I realized that was Sharon at that moment. She had a hood, and she was basically from jump. She knew that they had landed in Madripoor. I'm sure she was keeping eyes on Bucky, who was like an enemy of the world, basically. You know what I'm saying? and like, yeah, Sharon had her eyes on them to protect. I'm assuming to protect Sam and Bucky. But that was a wild second viewing that I noticed. Like, okay, she was there the whole time. Now we get introduced to fucking the old Winter Soldier. Oh, you got a haircut? but it's still the same Bucky, bro. He motherfucking broke motherfuckers' arms,
right?
threw them across the bar. Yeah.
Hey, look,
part.
I thought it was tight because Baron was like, he just gave him the word, yo. I feel like we all need that person on our team. You know what I'm saying? We need that guy who's like, yo, if you say the word, it's on. Like, he just gave him the word attack, and then dude was like, he just went ham.
Which was a wild reference to how he had controlled the Winter Soldier. And like Bucky was always a hired assassin, a Manchurian candidate type of dude who gets turned by you know what I mean. And now he's like he was enslaved to other people's orders based off of the that's why even we didn't even mention that Bucky earlier, he was trying to set him up with the words in the beginning.
Oh,
and and Bucky was like, it doesn't, that person's gone, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's donezo. You don't you can't say them Russian words no more, bro. But then they referenced it at the bar where like attack, and like, whoa, like that's what he had him doing, you know. He had the Winter Soldier like that turned up after the a reference to the Civil War scene when he turns them on. He basically gets the word. He has the Russian words. He studied them, and now like back here, now he's kicking ass. Sam is on the side, like, "Are you good, bro?
You all right?
Are you good?" That, you know, like after obviously that he beats up the whole bar. Motherfucking Sam, like, "Are you Gucci, dog? Like, are you okay to moving forward?" Because
he gave him the head nod. Like,
are you the Winter Soldier again, or are we good now? It's summer, right? Like,
you know what? Bringing that point up, when they were in the prison, Zemo he looked at him and he tried to say the words, and he was like, "That don't work on me." And then he like looked him in the eye real close, and he was like, "Nah, there's still a little bit in there. There's like a little bit of Winter Soldier."
That was cool,
left
even though he said that, that was cool.
So, but I thought it was dope because when they were walking to the bar or to the car to go to the bar in Madripoor, he was like, he hit him with that Russian, ready to comply. Every time I hear that, it's like that's the word, ready to comply. And then Bucky's like, okay, it's like it's on. And he gave him the order, and then that was it. And then but like when Sam asked him if he's good, he just gave him the head nod, like, you know, let's continue or whatever. But I always think the bar scene is dope when it's all this fights break out, and then like everybody just starts cocking their guns, and then it's like, okay, the fight's over.
And it's interesting how they painted Madripoor, right? So Madripoor is like this haven for like criminals, and there's a lot of wealthy people that bank there and then work there or do their business there. And then you see this like imagery that they have of like a edgy type of like Asian third world country, you know what I'm saying? Like very similar to a lot of like Asian countries where it's like the clubs and the imagery around and the people that's around there is very diverse. And it's an interesting way that they painted Madripoor. And like moving forward, we're gonna see more of like this region of the world, right? Because Shang-Chi's gonna be in Asia. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna set up like the introduce their trucks. Now they get to meet Selby, right? Or the Selby, the person.
It's like, Selby, you'll see you now.
And then they get to the scene where they basically get interrogated, like, you know, like, Zemo, what did you want? Like, I mean, like, what? Why are you here? You know, it's on site. I'll kill you, bro. Like, why are you here? I have a deal for you, and that's where the scene comes in, right? Where they start discussing like the situation down there, the
super soldier serum, and like where they get it. It's like, and she's like, "Yo, I'll give you a little insight, but you want the whole." What did she say? She's like, "I'll give you a little nibble, the crumbs, but if you want the whole bakery, that's a different deal." And then the crazy part is Zemo's like, "All right, here's the deal. Give me the information. I'll give you the Winter Soldier," which is crazy. It's like, I'll give you this person. I'll give you the, you know what I'm saying? Like this trained assassin if you want, you know what I mean? That I thought that was kind of wild that they just use that person to barter, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got to ask y'all though, for me though. So they're talking about the episode's called The Power Broker. You're in Madripoor and they're talking about the power broker is watching, was written, you know, in graffiti on the side of a building and shit.
Yep.
But then we get introduced to her. You said her name is Selby, this white chick, British chick. So she's not the power broker, right? Dude, who is this chick?
She's not she works for the power broker.
Okay,
exactly.
But I gotta say, what bothered me because we are in Madripoor, and although Madripoor is a very, is doing very typical shit to us Asian cats. Let's get real on this shit for a little bit. They
colonized
framework us. You know what I'm saying? There's very colonized vision of us Asians and shit. But
a white woman in power.
Exactly. That's what bothered me. Why did it have to be this British woman? Why couldn't we have had a dope ass Ming-Na winner? Although it wouldn't have been Ming-Na because she's already kind of in the universe. But you know
That's
what I'm saying?
Cavalry, right?
I wanted to see an Asian woman of power, or just somebody of Asian descent. You know what I'm saying? In this power position in our quote unquote Asian country. You feel me? So that
right. It wasn't a lot of Asians that we saw.
Exactly. That's what bothered me too. Like even the bartender, you know what I'm saying, was a brother man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Glenn, come on now. Like, I don't know.
It was an imagery, I think a pretty accurate imagery of how like international countries from probably predominantly white European or American countries, they come in to third world countries like a Madripoor or like insert name of a impoverished third world country in Asia, like those people get colonized, and the people in power there are not, people that are local from there. They're all from, like somewhere bad criminals or rich billionaires or, from other countries. And now you see this woman that she's in the bed with power broker. Like everyone is working for the power brokers. The power broker is watching. Apparently, that's what they're trying to tell us. Is the power broker?
I guess that's how I should look at it. Like these other cats from other countries came here to do their dirty work in our quote unquote Asian country. And I don't know, but I just as an Asian,
this is doing the dirty
roles. I wanted to see at least us be bosses. You know what I'm saying? Running shit.
Well, I mean, I like when I'm looking at it, and there are some places where I am like Marvel, for instance. I feel like they've done like an okay job with diversity to some point. So sometimes on things like this, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give them a pass because we haven't seen all the characters unfold. You know what I mean? You don't know where it's going next. Like if we get to the end of the series, then it'd be like, yo, what was up with that? You know what I mean?
They're building a universe out, and they're probably. I'm hoping that they do better down the line. But yeah, you're right though. Kuya P is that they should be doing this more with diversity of like the Asian experience, but they'll get to that, I'm assuming, later on, and that will be how they do it. But not to get sidetracked though, but I was watching The Boys recently on Amazon, and they talk about the point of racism within the universe of that comic book character. And then while I was watching that, I was thinking about how Marvel's diversity or their track of representation has been, and they have been some kind of getting better. But I did mention it recently how in the last episode how like in the world of the MCU, that universe, there it's still a very whitewashed type of like universe. And the Isaiah Bradleys, like we were going to get into later on, I'm hoping in this episode in this series, is more on that type of super soldier serum that has been, tested on people of color too. So they definitely get into it more later. And this is a story about a lot about Sam, really. Sam's experience going forward as, as a Black man living as an Avenger. You know what I'm saying? Like we get to see now what the super soldier serum storyline becomes right after that scene when Selby and Zemo were negotiating a deal.
Yeah. And it's almost like, kind of Sam's journey because, when Cap gives it to him, despite everything Sam had been through, he doesn't feel like he's earned it. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe as an audience, we felt like he earned it, but he doesn't feel like he earned it. And now going through this, you kind of almost it's almost, if you think about it, it's kind of like the journey of like America. Like, here's what you got to do to be America. You got to go get in the dirt. You got to deal with, like these other unsultry characters. You got to like break the rules and all this type of stuff. That's how you end up getting the symbol. You know what I mean? That's how you end up earning the shield or whatever. Whereas like, you know, John Walker is just like, hey, I'm a soul. Like, you know what I mean? That's almost the ultimate white privilege. Like he gets handed the shield, where Sam's like, he doesn't even feel like he's worthy, and he goes through all this stuff, even though he's probably the most worthy person, you know what I'm saying? Because he helped Captain America from like the jump, like with you know, in Winter Soldier or whatever. So I don't know, like you said, it is his like story and going through it, and I think it's dope, like what they're doing. I do, like I said, I kind of like, I know it sounds terrible to say, but I give Marvel a pass a little bit, because they're allowing like our stories to be told, even though it's like, yo, we deserve to have these stories told way before this. But the fact that they're doing it on a big Hollywood, big budget movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching this thing. Now I'm going to sidetrack us just a little bit. I was watching this thing, and this dude was talking about like, or it's like this thing on Twitter where people are like, I'm tired of seeing black pain movies. I don't want to see that shit no more. Yeah. Like, I don't want to see like, oh, you know, it's so hard, and jail and slavery and all that type. Like, that's part of why I love seeing Marvel shit, because it's like, yo, super futuristic superhero, like black people just doing like, you know, shit like you would do if you was a superhero. Like, you don't have, it doesn't have to be black pain or whatever.
Yeah, but black pain. They also done.
They also got to tell. They got to tell the story without ignoring it, and then going forward. Plus the fact that they're giving chances to, you know, like a Ryan Coogler or whatever, to come in and direct. They reached out to Ava DuVernay to do Black Panther first. You know, like, I don't know. They're just doing a good job. So it's like, yeah, you got, because we got to start somewhere. And you know what I'm saying? Like, even if they wanted to just do it to death, like, you know, like, it might be hard to do that because you're the first one doing it. Like, I think they're walking it. So it's like right now, a little bit of a pass, you know what I'm saying? But I feel you guys, because for a long time, we've feeling the same way. You know what I'm saying? We're in the same boat, you know?
Yeah. Back to the story now. The next scene was they introduced, I mean, they get the phone, Sam gets the phone call, and then everything derails.
Right.
After that, they're talking about, yo, what's the situation? Yeah, we got to get the boat. And then you forget, like, through all this, like, Sam is going through trying to save the world. He still has to deal with regular life shit. Like, oh yeah, we got to sell the boat. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about that, right?
Yeah. I love how he tried to flip it though, and like, it was working for a minute. You know,
he was for a little bit.
He's like, that bank, I have to kill that motherfucker. She's like,
kill those motherfuckers.
Sam.
I'm gonna kill those motherfuckers for sure. As soon as I get home. But right now, it's not a good time.
That was great, yeah.
And everything goes south after that.
But they get a little assist, because when everything goes south, they get the sniper come through and starts hitting people and kind of helps them out by taking out a few people in the meantime. And that leads us right to Sharon Carter coming through and showing up, being like, yo, what's good? Y'all in my neck of the woods, what's happening? They're like, oh shit, Sharon, we ain't seen you since we got you locked up. But
hey, how you been?
But this is another thing I like about. Look, check it. This is another thing I like about Marvel. Consequences. Like, you see Sharon, she broke them out, and that's all you see. And usually in movies, it's like, okay, whatever, and like nothing happened. But it's like, no, like there were consequences for her character for doing that, and the consequences make sense. She had to go on a run. She has to talk to her parents, and she started thinking about things like, yo, this whole superhero shit is bullshit. You know, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And we find out that she's an art dealer now in Madripoor. Right. She's based / John Wick.
Right.
Sash Die Hard, like, yo, she murdered. Not to get too forward, but she was murdering motherfuckers later on. I was like, God,
she was giving them the business.
Her whole she had a total 180 from her days as a U.S. agent or whatever her job was.
She was with Shield. She was operative with Shield.
Now she's based in Madripoor. We get to see that little scene where they had to meet with. Now they're trying to get leads, right? Is that what happens next? Yeah.
Well, then she takes them back to her place, and basically, you know, the scene starts to like break down what happened to her, what she went through, and there's even the funny part where she starts talking, and she's talking like real greasy, like to the point where Bucky's like, oh shit, she's horrible now. like she's a bad guy now. Oh shit, I didn't think she was, you know, that tough, but she really did. She's like, yo, you're all rah Mr. America or some shit. you know, like I don't even fuck with any of that no more, which I think makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you've seen, like, if you were sitting next to dudes who were Hydra and you had to make a decision to like leave your job, and then you also had to like save Captain America and saw the world turn on him and all that, like, I think you might be a little bit jaded. So I just think it's cool how it like makes sense for her character to kind of now be like, man, fuck all this shit. Like, I'm getting money. I'm out here for me. I don't care.
I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I might as well live it. You know what I mean? Right. And now we get to see the like. So while I try to find out a lead for you guys, why don't you just enjoy the party? Try not to get into trouble. Zemo goes, trouble. Cut to EDM music, and there's a fucking party, and Zemo out here turned up.
Zemo was hitting this joint.
Yeah, and you know Sam enjoyed that night too. I'm sorry, Sam enjoyed it. Oh, we gonna be hobnobbing with rich motherfuckers. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm turned up.
I love it. But the other thing, Sam also said, listen, like help us out with this or whatever, and I'll get your name cleared. You know, which is like a cool thing. He's got that pull. You know what I mean? So, or maybe we're hoping he has that pull because we don't know. You know, because I think the next scene is where the scene that I was thinking about, because I always thought John Walker or that version of Cap or US agent or whatever, I only thought he was in the show for one scene, which is this one that we're about to talk about, where he's with was it Star Spangled or what's the dude's name? Battlestar, Star Spangled. He's with Battlestar, and he's like, yo, like,
they rarely call him Battlestar. They just let him use his last name.
Right. Yeah. But he's with them, and he's like, yo, we ain't got no leads. What are we going to do? And he's like, nah, we got a lead. Like, you know, it looks like Sam and Bucky might have broke out Zemo, so fuck it. Let's just we got to go off book. Let's go off book too. Everybody's going off book. We gonna go off book. Let's go see what's really good. And he's like, yo, can we really do that? He's like, look at this A on my chest. You know who I am? Do you know who I am? We going off book. So yeah, apparently so we see that, so we know that we're probably going to get US agent, we're probably going to get Battlestar. They're going to be tracking them down, trying to figure out what's going on in the next scene or in the next episode. But for now, we get the lead on what's his name, Nagel, the guy who's been doing the super soldier serum, and they figure out where they got to go to get it. So they go down there with Sharon, which, by the way, the shipyard scene with Sharon,
crazy,
not to play with. She don't need super soldier shit, yo.
None. She don't got the serum. She don't got the serum. She just out here chilling. She just chilling. Like,
yo. You know what was wild to me is how many of them bounty because we forgot to mention it. There's there's a bounty on the people who killed Selby. So basically, all the bounty hunters in Madripoor are looking for Bucky, Zemo, and Sharon or whatever. So they all come out. It just was crazy how many bounty hunters came with like a knife or like a pipe. It's like, no, you ain't come with a gun. Like, what you doing? Yeah. But she was giving them all the bit. I love how in this show the stunt choreography mirrors like what we see in the movies. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times in these shows, you don't get the same level of like intensity in the fight scenes, and I feel like this one was dope, man. It was really, really, really jumping. But
we are entering we're entering a world of television and movies that's gonna be just one. Everything's just prestige, because it used to be just like a certain amount of channels or production companies really do that prestige type of television, right? With that movie quality shit. Now I think the lines are getting blurred, bro. Like, actors used to only do movies and TVs. Now everything's gonna be together. You know what I'm saying? Game of Thrones is crazier than most movies, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, we're starting to get television, or HBO just historically with like all their shows, The Wire and like Sopranos, like all that shit cinematic. So we're getting a blurred way from television. Everything's going to be one now. We're entering a new age of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like how we're going into streaming services battling for everyone's attention. Now we're seeing movie quality everything. But back to the Falcon.
She was right. She's whipping her ass. But before we get deeper into that scene, there was one scene that we kind of glossed over or forgot about, and that's where Carly Morgenthau is with her homie, and they're like, "Yeah, I took the super soldier serum. You know what I'm saying? Like it was scary, I was tingling or whatever, but I'm gonna use this power to do what we got to do." So like the scene is of them. They're taking back all the rations that these people have been holding while their people are starving. You know what I mean? They're like, you got like 6 months of rations that are just going to waste here, and you're not giving it to our people. So it's like you get the sense of like, okay, like damn, these really are freedom fighters. They're like fighting for good or whatever. And you know, all is well in the neighborhood. They just want to take the shit back. You know, they left a few hostages, but then as they're sitting in the car, Carly's like, yo, put your seatbelt on. He's like, why? And then the whole joint blows up, and he's like, yo, there were people in there. She's like, hey, that's the only shit these niggas understand. Let's keep moving. I was like, yeah, because her face is so like, you know, I don't know. It's like she's cute. She got a cute face. You know what I'm saying? She got the little curls. She got the freckles, and like she feels like mad, like oh, she's cute. She da. She wouldn't hurt no one. But it's like, nah. I'm really about this life. I don't care how fucking cute I am. like I'm about it. And that, I don't know. It's kind of weird because when it blows up, you think like, was she in charge? Was she the one? And every time you think she's like cute and like, nah, it's all good. She does like she kicked Bucky out the car or the truck or whatever. She like slammed Rodriguez into the like. She is fucking on some like, nah. I'm real.
Torres, by the way, Torres.
Did I say Rodriguez? Yo, man, forgive me. Listen, look. That was bad stereotypical of me to say that. But my man Torres said Rodriguez. That's terrible. But yeah, she's like every time Morgenthau is that she's that chick.
She was with the smoke. She's definitely with the smoke. Yeah,
definitely with the smoke, and not for play. Not for play either. Is but speaking of not for play, back to Sharon Carter. She's whipping ass while Bucky and Sam are talking to Nagel, and then Nagel's he's giving up the. He's like, yeah,
spills the beans.
He's like, yo,
spills the beans.
I was doing it. Listen, I'm a damn good scientist. I figured out the super soldier serum, which is kind of crazy because in the comic books, they're always trying to figure out the super soldier serum and they never are able to like get it right. And there's always like a problem with it or something. And then this dude is like, nah, I actually perfected it because I used the first dude who was Isaiah Bradley to, you know what I'm saying, like extract like the first subject, which is kind of crazy how they just talk to him like, yeah, some dude.
That's a subject. That's a test subject. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like they found him and then he's talking about it. And this is another one of those things. It's like, oh, here's another problem with the blip. You know what I'm saying? Like I had it all perfected and then I blipped and then I came back and everything was gone. It's
funding of the power breaker.
Right. But it's crazy how they use it as like that's a thing now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's part of like plots. You know what I'm saying? Like some characters have 5 years of non-existence and then come back into the world that they left. So I think it's going to be really interesting how we're moving forward and all these people who come back from it. But I don't know what y'all think about that in his backstory and like how he built up that super soldier program and kind of like perfected it and got it back to where it was. What was y'all thoughts?
To me, there was just a kind of a filler episode. I thought it was good. We're getting the background. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have more of the 3 episodes as far. This was kind of most of the chill episode, even though there was that dope shit with Sharon.
That scene was pretty epic though, at the motherfucking that shipyard.
Yeah.
Heavy
it
implications.
Was just chill. So I love the background. They're creating this world, you know, that we don't get with DC shit. You know, I hate to keep on knocking them, but bruh, that's their problem. If y'all could learn what these motherfuckers are doing over here, then y'all would understand.
Hey, I think because Marvel started out not being about the dollars. They're like, yo, we make a good story, the dollars will come. And that's it. And then Warner Brothers, or not Warner Brothers, but DC has they're like, shit, they get money. We just need to do, you know, like I think if they focus on the story, the money is going to come. Like these characters have followings, you know what I'm saying? Like if you make a like if you make a Blue Beetle movie, that's just going to do numbers, you know what I'm saying? And but if you focus on making it right, it's going to do more numbers, you know what I'm saying?
Hell
so
exactly,
like it's going to make money regardless, but make it good, and then people will follow.
Yeah, but so I thought it was good for me.
But yeah,
it was
but y'all people,
where were we at? Where were we at that moment?
So right now, they go through it. They talk about the super soldier serum. Nagel's he's spilling the beans. But in the meantime, Baron Zemo's kind of like he's walking around and searching out, and he finds the heater, finds a gun under the table. And as soon as Nagel gives them all the information they need, he's like, he's like, hey, don't forget, I'm still on a mission.
Right. Because he's like, look, man, like we have to, like, you guys are just okay with this? No, this dude gotta go. Which is like, now you just fucked the money, because this is power broker's money, basically. And we can't gloss over that the super soldier serum is the same that the Flag Smashers have taken. This is the power broker. He only made 20. He mentions, and then so they've given out to the power. What is it? The Flag Smashers already stole some, and the rest, who could it went to? You know what I'm saying?
I think the Flag Smashers have the rest of it. That's why he was like because she was like, the power broker is going to be really after us, because like the dude died and we have the other vials. Like they took 8, so I think there's 12 left, because they took all 20. 8 of them took it and they got 12 left. And he was like, the power broker is really going to be out. Right? Am I right, Kuya P? You always keep me straight. Is that right?
I have to watch it again. I think you're on point though.
Okay.
I have to peep it again.
If my math is correct, I think that's what happened. I think the Flag Smashers still got like 8 vials left. Because that's where Carly's moving around. She's like, he's got to come through us, and like, fucking, I want him to. Like, basically,
they gotta have. I gotta think that John Walker, because big head privileged ass, who I am, is gonna want that shit, because there was this. I recall a storyline, because he's like roided up in the comic book at one point and was like off the chain, and that created like a big power dynamic with him against the real Cap when Steve Rogers was trying to like get back to this picture. Like it was
he had anger issues from the roids.
Shit where he gets like this twisted ass version of the serum, and all the other heroes are going to go against this evil ass.
But so I want in the MCU, John Walker. Yeah. The MCU, John Walker's for sure he wants some of that shit too for self, or if he has already, you know what I'm saying? Because like the power broker could be selling to everyone, you know what I mean? Or who knows? We'll see what the story going forward. But yeah, back to the shipyard scene.
Yeah, right.
Because that scene was sick. You know what I mean? Like fucking while they were getting into this shit, basically Sharon held off hella motherfuckers. Just off their weapons. He used them as weapons. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit.
She came into the fight with just a pipe, bro. She just had a pipe and was giving them all the business.
Yo,
like when she took that one dude's knife and like threw it at him. And the other thing that I noticed is like she was murking people. Like she was taking their guns and like popping them. And I was like, yo, this is Disney? Like,
right.
Because the way she was shooting them, I was like, what?
Yo, so pause, y'all. Maybe I missed it, and maybe I glossed over this in this conversation about the serum and shit. Do you guys think John Walker has the serum right now? I think he's just a regular cat, but he has.
I think he might.
But he's been
trained
up.
He might just be regular. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Cat.
Yeah. He's like super like military
no
trained.
In her, but she was murking motherfuckers left and right. So you know what I'm saying? I think John is a regular cat now, but if he gets the serum, he's gonna be a problem.
Well, so on that scene where they were fighting on the truck, it seemed like he wasn't super powered. You know what I'm saying? Like because the Flag Smashers beat the shit out of him really quickly. You know what I mean?
So y'all aren't thinking he has it, because I don't think he has it.
I was thinking he might have already had it, but
I think he might have had it. Like now you guys are telling me otherwise.
Now you see my point then. Okay.
I mean, he might have had something. He might have been juiced on something, but I don't think he's got like got the actual.
He ain't got that good. That purple.
Not yet. He ain't got that drink yet.
He ain't got the purple yet.
Yeah, this Nagel guy is like one of the few that really perfected the serum, right? Or maybe the serum. There's a version of the serum passed down, because I mean, like Starks, did Hydra originally steal all the super soldier serum from Hydra? Like
I think it's reverse. I think Hydra had the serum first, and then USA or CIA or whoever or Shield took it from Hydra. Erskine, yeah. So I think that's how they do it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The serum comes from Hydra, and then move because Red Skull took it first, right? Like he was trying to take it first. And then then they got it and kind of perfected it for Steve. Then everything blew up and they didn't have it no more. And then this dude Nagel, he came back and he
with a new version.
The new version. Well, not anymore because he's gone because Zemo murked him. And then after he murked him, then the mercenaries like blow up the lab. So even in his lab, that's all gone too. Which, I gotta be real because I give DC a hard time, but they blew up that lab and they kind of all walked out without scratches. I was like, come on. You got to give me something more than that. Was there a retaining wall? Something? You know what I mean?
They survived that shit? That was
right? I mean, did y'all think that when they blew it up with the rocket, how they just like came out from the wreckage?
Man, they're superheroes, bro. They're superheroes. They're cool. They get out of that shit clean.
I'm just trying to be consistent. I can't give DC shit for like,
There are some type of flaws in between, but for the most part, I think it's pretty well executed show so far. But there are like every show has their little flaws, right?
It's just like whatever. Okay, explosion is fine. But anyway, so they get out of that situation. They get out of there. And right before that scene ends, we get to see that Sharon is not just like she's got some weight behind her because somebody picks her up in a nice new car and they're like, yo, we got to get out of here. And then it's like, yo, we got more.
We have multiple.
We got more.
Yeah, multiple problems.
Right. But I wonder, do you think her driver is going to be somebody in the series?
I think Sharon is working with certain type of people because obviously as an art dealer in Magipur, she's
she's
onto something, and either she's working with certain organizations, you know what I mean? Because whatever her storyline's next going forward, they kind of broke it down with that car with like, oh yeah, she's obviously someone who is driven around and she works, you know what I'm saying? She has weight, she holds weight. So apparently she's lit out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So her name's in these streets. She don't play.
You know what I mean?
But so from that scene, we kind of move on and they find their next lead, which who was the next lead that they figured out? I guess they came to figure out the power broker or something.
Where they going next? So they basically went to what's his name? Zemo knew some people, and I forgot the city that they're at, but they're traveling around. They go to the apartment, and Bucky's like, wait a second. I'm gonna
Riga,
go take
Latvia.
a walk.
They're in Latvia.
Wait. But, yeah, that's right. They're going to Latvia. But right before that, Sam is like, yo, I didn't realize the legacy of the shield and shit. I'm gonna have to destroy that shit. And then Bucky's like, nah, before you destroy it, I'm about to take it because like that shit means a lot to me, bro. And then it's just kind of like I feel like Sam, the only person Sam would let have the shield is Bucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than that, Sam is like, yo, I'll die over that shit. I'm not giving it up again. Yeah. Like, because I know what it is. I'll fucking destroy that. What do you say? A hunk of metal or whatever? Or the little. Yeah. So he's real upset about it. So there's that little piece, you know what I'm saying? Right before, this is where John Walker and like Battlestar are talking about, going to track them down like right before there, and then they have that scene, but it leads to that scene that you're talking about where they're on to their next lead and they're like, yo, Bucky's like, yo, I'll be back, and then he finds the little beads. In my mind, I was like, where have I seen those beads before? Did y'all know immediately when you saw it what it was?
No, I didn't know immediately. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, like it made sense afterwards, but like in hindsight, but like at the moment I was like, what the fuck is Bucky doing? And then he's like, I think y'all dropped something.
Right.
And now we get the motherfucking Dora Milaje out here lit, you know what I'm saying? They're like, wait a second, we coming for Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the character's name, but
hey yo, hey yo, that's
she
her
made
name.
her debut. She made her debut in Civil War with that scene against Scarlett Johansson. I was like, oh shit, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah,
You know, bringing side characters back like that is like crazy. Great world building.
It's just like a comic book, yo. Like where it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like this character that you have seen for just a little bit, and then they come back. And I just love how it's like now we get to, because I wanted to see her in Infinity War, because I felt there in Wakanda, I thought she was going to be more in Infinity War, and I'm like, yo, what happened to this character? I wanted to see that payoff between her fighting Black Widow and all that type of stuff. I think because they're supposed to be introducing the next Black Widow, which is like her sister or whatever, Yelena or something like that.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna fight Yelena in like the upcoming Avengers movie. I don't know which one. That's my guess. Like Kuya, you keep saying Mephisto's coming. I think she's gonna fight. The next one.
They'll definitely have crossovers between the Black Widow movie. I think we'll see a crossover between Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. They might be involved somehow. And then now you got the Black Panther movie, which they're still working on, right? They're still writing that movie, because now we're tied into the like Wakanda. So back to Wakanda, like they had a version of the super serum lit. Their version was perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm
Their
saying?
shit is from the earth, yo. They're like,
they figured it out already. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's where the shield is from. So the implications of Wakanda with this part of the world is like pretty heavy too. Just, and that I'm like, that was a great drop that they had there of like, oh yeah,
it came out of nowhere, right? Like, like were y'all just as surprised as I was? Because when the beads were there,
I yelled.
I didn't realize what the fuck was going on, and then as soon as I saw her, I was like, fucking of course, duh. Like obviously Wakanda's not going to be like, oh, it's all good that Baron Zemo broke out. Like they're going to be like, nah, like we gave him up to you, this motherfucker's got to pay, you know what I'm saying? Because Wakanda's, they don't forget shit.
No, we're coming for Zemo. He killed King T'Chaka at the UN, you know what I'm saying?
But I think
we need that.
I think it's dope though, because Bucky has spent so much time in Wakanda that she came to him, because she wasn't like going to just come in there, start, like fighting or whatever. She came to Bucky like
the White Wolf.
She came to White Wolf like, yo, you know why I'm here? I'm like, I came for Zemo. What's good? And I just want to see what Bucky, like how that relationship's going to go. Is he going to be like, nah, or is he going to be like bow down because he knows what Wakanda's all about? Like, because I mean, realistically, Bucky should just be like, we got what we need from Zemo. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like take him. Like he shouldn't have any affinity for Zemo. I'm gonna be so mad if he has any affinity for Zemo outside of the mission.
Yeah, I'm
right. Queen P, what you think about like the storyline about what they're gonna do with Zemo? Is he like, the whole time I was questioning, is he like a good guy now, or are they cool now? Because like if you think about it, Zemo's still trying to kill all superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Zemo's a master villain, man. Like he's evil as fuck. So I'm just as confused as you are and curious what's gonna go down when is he gonna flip, because he's a bad guy. He's the leader. He's the leader of a group called the Masters of Evil, which was. Come on now. You're the leader of the Masters of Evil. That the Avengers have faced many times, bruh. So like he's got to flip at some point.
I think it's a great way to put a button on that because like T'Challa said, he's like, yo, the living still have more you still have more to pay. And I feel like if a Wakandan can put an end to Zemo, I think that would be a very fair and like fulfilling way to end that character in the thing. Cause I think he's gotta pay, yo. He broke up the event. Like we could have fought Thanos so much better had he not fucked off and like broke up the Avengers, you know what I mean? Like we could have been in a better position, you know what I'm saying? But But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I love the way that they ended the episode. I love how these characters kind of boomerang and come back, and they have importance outside of their roles. You know what I'm saying? So that means we're going to get more with her. We're going to get conversations with her. We're going to, sit down with her, or at least that's the hope. I don't know. I'll just start wrapping it up, man. I give this episode like a 10. I loved it again. Actually, I'll give it a 9.5 because I could have stood for a little bit more action and an explanation of how they made it out of that lab when he shot a rocket into it. So I'll give it like a 9. You know what I'm saying? I really rock with it. I can't wait to see what happens next week. What about y'all? OG, what did you think? What do you give the episode?
I like the episode a lot. I mean, we are transitioning now halfway through the series. In this part of like a 3, 4, 5 act movie, we're almost at the 1.5 hour mark. You know what I'm saying? And we're going into. I'm assuming shit turns up from now 4 and 5. The director and the writers are already talking about like how the 5th episode is a very emotional episode. You know what I'm saying? Like we're getting like the second half. They're setting up the second half now. And as a 6 episode series, they have less time to work with than like a 8 episode WandaVision, right? Mm-hmm. But like they're 40-50 minute episodes. The next episode, I'm assuming, is about to turn up. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
yeah. They're about to turn up for sure.
It's like what you think, 8 episode in Game of Thrones. Like the 8th episode is always the turn up episode in Game of Thrones, if you remember.
Yeah. Yo, so for me, man, if we're giving it like number counts, man, to me, the first 2 episodes definitely were 10s. Great episodes. I hate to downgrade this episode if I'm giving them 2 10s because I don't think it was as good as the first 2 episodes. To me, it's a great episode. So like I if I have to then I'd say it's a 9-8. You know what I'm saying? Comparatively, but to me it's needed because you need to kind of pull off from action as a story
world building
exactly to build the world. So just another great episode. I'm loving what Marvel doing. They know how to create these characters and this world and get you into the both the good side and the bad side and endear you to both causes. And what would you do this if you was really going through it like these rebellious flag smashers? They try and from what they went through, you can understand their reasoning, but then we can also understand why our heroes are doing what they do and why John Walker is as asshole as in a face you want to punch or smack. You can see why he feels the way he feels. He comes from a very privileged position, but you can understand that. And then we can understand why my man Sam and Bucky feel the way they feel. So that is why Marvel is so fucking good, man. And I'm here for this ride, man. I'm loving it. Good shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all good things, man. We have to leave it there with you guys because we've been talking about this for long enough, and
just as long as the episodes, man.
Yeah, just as long as the episodes, bro. But we love it, man. We love it. We love what they're doing, and we can't wait to bring you episode 5. Episode 4. We can't wait to bring you episode 4 of this content and start breaking down what happens there as this story evolves, man. 4 Nerds ruling the world. Nerds rule the world. I am Glenn Lawrence. You can find me at levelupcomedy.com, Level Up Comedy DC on your YouTubes, level_comedy, Instagram, Twitter. Find me on all those. Say what's up. Be like, hey, Glenn, what's good? If you like what you're seeing, of course, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. OG Moose, tell them where you at.
It's Moose, OG Moose LV on all social media. So OG Moose LV. You can find all my music on Apple Music, Spotify, all that. Appreciate y'all for having me. Let's nerd about the next episode 4. About to be crazy.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to that, man. Yo, before I tell you about me, man, I want to send love to the Top Back podcast cats, Matt and Mike. They wanted to be here, but they couldn't. But we're going to have them both on next go round. We just had Mike the last go round, but we'll get both Matt and Mike on for the next go round so we can have some fun with those cats from Top Back. So mad love to those cats at Top Back Podcast, I think is their joint. So showing love to these cats, man, because that's what we as community should do. You know what I'm saying? Spread love. It's your boy Cooley IP, aka Patrick Michael Strange. You can follow me at Strange Since 1977 and at Temple Far East. Here at the NRW, where nerds rule the world, and of course at the Nerds of Color, where we give you POC perspective within pop culture. And it's also the home of my show, Pal Show, where I represent Filipinx people and what we doing big in this industry. You got cats like my man OG Moose in there, shining soon on an episode. Good shit, man. I got a lot of stuff coming your way, man. Yeah, just stay tuned, man. We staying busy, man. We grinding up in here, man. I got love for these cats, man. Mad love, OG, Glenn Lawrence, man. Appreciate y'all. Another fun one. Can't wait for more marvelous shit, man. Let's do it.